cornerstone of the American dream. In these days, it is doubtful that any child may reasonably be expected to succeed in life if he is denied the opportunity of an education. Such an opportunity, where the state has undertaken to provide it, is a right which must be made available to all on equal terms. Chief Justice Earl Warren. 242 years ago, our country was founded on the idea that all men are created equal. This idea remains central to the American identity today. The constitutional foundation for equality in America was laid in 1868 by the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause, guaranteeing the equal protection of the laws to all people. The public education system is integral to our society, molding the next generation of Americans. Because of this, providing equality in education is essential to upholding our core set of values as a nation. As it relates to education, the Equal Protection Clause provides every child a right of fair and equal access to public education, allowing them to fully develop as individuals and as citizens. There are four main federal legislative acts involving the 14th Amendment with regards to education. Title VI and Title IX of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibited educational discrimination respectively by race and sex. The Rehabilitation Act of 1973 that banned exclusion or discrimination of disabled students in public schools, and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act of 1990 that provided equal educational opportunities to disabled students. In addition, the Equal Protection Clause left a profound impact on our society through precedents set at multiple levels of the court system. One of the first cases establishing equality in education was a 1947 decision by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in the case Mendez v. Westminster School District. This case concerned the racial segregation of Mexican Americans into separate schools with low funding and support. The court ruled that the segregation of these children was illegal, concurring with the lower court that they were citizens of the United States and are fully qualified to attend and use the public school facilities. It also established the importance of maintaining equal opportunity in education, stating that a paramount requisite in the American system of public education is social equality. Mendez laid the foundation for one of the most influential Supreme Court cases ever, Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka in 1954. Brown was a landmark case establishing that racial segregation in schools directly violated the Equal Protection Clause. Proponents of such segregation claimed that, pursuant to Plessy v. Ferguson, the separate but equal doctrine justified racial segregation in education. In his opinion, Chief Justice Earl Warren wrote that segregation with the sanction of law, therefore, has a tendency to retard the educational and mental development of Negro children and to deprive them of some of the benefits that they would receive in a racially integrated school system. Warren's opinion and the court's decision were groundbreaking in that they centered not only on the narrowly defined equality of schools and instruction as articulated by the Board of Education, but rather on the profound negative impact of segregation in education on children. Lau v. Nichols in 1974 was the first major case reflecting the impact of the newly passed Civil Rights Act. In Lau, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled that the lack of supplemental English programs at schools violated the Civil Rights Act by disadvantaging non-English speakers. In the majority opinion, the court stated that the district must take affirmative steps to rectify the language deficiency in order to open its instructional program to these students, recognizing this deficiency as a proxy for racial discrimination. Lau established for the first time that passive negligence to provide equal opportunity in education was akin to active discrimination, and that federally funded institutions had an obligation to actively provide equal educational opportunities to all. Affirmative action in university admissions was first considered in 1978 by the Supreme Court in Regents of the University of California v. Bakke. Alan Bakke sued the University of California for discrimination against white applicants when declined admission into the university's medical school due to racial affirmative action. In the court's ruling, Justice Powell stated that the interest of diversity is compelling in the context of a university admissions program, setting precedent for the use of race-based affirmative action. Justice Sandra Day O'Connor cited Regents in the later case of Grutter v. Bollinger, writing that affirmative action furthered a compelling interest in obtaining the educational benefits that flow from a diverse student body, and thus establishing the legality of the use of race in admissions decisions. In the recent case, Andrew F. v. Douglas County School District decided in 2017, the Supreme Court established equal educational rights of disabled students. The court held that under the Individuals with Disabilities Act, IDEA, schools were required to create conditions allowing disabled students to make appropriately ambitious steps advancing their education. Chief Justice John Roberts, citing the 1982 case Board of Education of Hendrick Hudson's Central School District v. Rowley, wrote in the court's unanimous opinion that schools must enable a child to make progress appropriate in light of the child's circumstances. Through all these and many other cases, the judicial system proved to be a critical element of our country's evolution, nourishing America's founding ideals of liberty and justice for all, and protecting them against bias and prejudice. In education, it has ensured the right to equality, so eloquently expressed by Chief Justice Warren. The Equal Protection Clause and the body of law that followed it became a bedrock of protecting universal equality in all spheres of life, including education. It assures that all children have an equal opportunity to reach their full potential, leading America and the world into the future. Thank you very much.